Every race begins at the finish line. Let me say how it's been so uplifting to see everyone pitch in to diminish mine. It's gonna take all of us just to cover up what I accomplished in the nick of time. I live on nigga time. I've been on bigger things. You wanna get behind. That bitch is big behind. That's all omega-3. It's fishy, I don't mind. I got bras in Atlantis that call me for cannabis. How'd you channel this? They pay me in amethyst. I'm all for the fantasy, but I don't fall for the fantasy. I'ma go all for the manual. If you follow instructions, then you'll be successful, I promise you. Just look at my section, it's possible. I got an angelic arsenal. Make the damn devil do cardio.
A/0/Earth, B/1, black, a negative perturbation from mean luminance. This time, it's personal. This visual mnemonic was made to help us remember how blackness relates to our experience of life. We correlate the components of a black body enclosure one-to-one with the anatomy of a human eye. In fact, we have overlapped a series of diagrams of both in order to show the parallels between these structures. The human eye is a black body enclosure. This is why the center of the iris is black. They are both insulated containers that allow light to enter through a small opening, so that it may interact with the dark lining of the container, which absorbs energy from the light, performing work, and transforming that energy into radiant heat in the scientist's black body enclosure, or into electrical impulses for the brain to interpret within that same scientist's eye. The eyes of the blind are often wide in the middle, as light is not being absorbed and energetic work is not occurring within. Any natural cave is also a black body enclosure. In his famous allegory, Plato sees the cave as the place of humanity's internalized personal experience of reality. One that is insulated and separate from the physical reality of the outside world. The cave approximates reality with shadows projected on the back wall, lit by a small flame inside. A flame that is inconceivably dim compared to the sun that is its father. Imagine the idea that something could be absorbed and yet considered absent from whatever has absorbed it. If a sponge absorbs water, is water absent from the sponge? Or is it dispersed and distributed throughout the body of the sponge? Causing wetness. If a student absorbs information, is that information now absent from the student's mind? Or is it dispersed and distributed throughout the body of their thoughts? Causing comprehension. If a punching bag absorbs the force of an impact, is the kinetic energy now absent from the bag? Or is it dispersed and distributed throughout the body of the punching bag? Causing momentum. These questions are posed to spark more questioning as to why we talk about a certain thing a certain way. Well, most English dictionaries define the word black as the absence of any light or color, a void. Any synonyms included often recall themes of cruelty and death. In recent years, online dictionaries have begun to include the statement, absorbing all light within their definitions of blackness. Absorb is defined as, verb 1. Take in or soak up, energy or a liquid or other substance, by chemical or physical action. Absent is defined, adjective 1. Not present in a place, at an occasion, or as part of something. Preposition 1. Without. These same dictionaries define another term etymology to mean the study of the origin of words and the way in which their meanings have changed throughout history. Etymology Online describes the origin and development of black as a word thusly: Old English black, absolutely dark, absorbing all light, the color of soot or coal, from Proto-Germanic black as burned, source also of Old Norse black or dark, Old High German bla black, Swedish black ink, Dutch blaken to burn, from pie bleg to burn, gleam, shine, flash, source also of Greek phlegein to burn, scorch, Latin flagrare to blaze, glow, burn, from root bell, 1, to shine, flash, burn. The same root produced Old English black, bright, shining, glittering, pale, the connecting notions being, perhaps, fire, bright, and burned, dark, or perhaps absence of color. There is nothing more variable than the signification of words designating color. Hensley Wedgwood, A Dictionary of English Etymology, 1859. The usual Old English word for black was swart, see swart. According to OED, in me. It is often doubtful whether black, blake, means black, dark, or pale, colorless, wan, livid. Used of dark-skinned people in Old English, meaning fierce, terrible, wicked is from late 14c. Figurative senses often come from the notion of without light, moral or spiritual. It is my opinion that this etymology illuminates an older worldview, where what we today call black and white were two sides of a coin called fire. Fire radiates a bright light that, if hot enough, grows towards an absence of color and manifests a night-colored residue with an absence of radiance, through the single act of burning. It should go without saying that in the case of a literal coin flip only one face will land on the ground at a time. Remember, there can be more than one outcome from a single act. These different situations, in language, would be the context. In any variable situation, or context, the words I use will produce varied outcomes, even if I'm repeating myself each time. The following alphabetic list is comprised of words that all represent the color black in some way. Ater, black, carbon, dark, ebony, fair, gray, ham, ink, jet, Krsna, Lucifer, Melanin, Niger, Obsidian, pitch, Qedar, rot, Soot, Tyrosine, Umbra, Vlach, woo, yellow, and zero. In regards to people repeating one word, in many differing situations, over an extended period of time, in 2013 the Washington Post released an article entitled Linguists Identify 15,000-Year-Old Ultra-Conserved Words. The first paragraph of which begins, "You, hear me. Give this fire to that old man. Pull the black worm off the bark and give it to the mother. And no spitting in the ashes." It's an odd little speech. But if you went back 15,000 years and spoke these words to hunter-gatherers in Asia in any one of hundreds of modern languages, there is a chance they would understand at least some of what you were saying. That's because all of the nouns, verbs, adjectives and adverbs in the four sentences are words that have descended largely unchanged from a language that died out as the glaciers retreated at the end of the last ice age. Those few words mean the same thing, and sound almost the same, as they did then. That article cites the following research study: ultra-conserved words point to deep language ancestry across Eurasia. Mark Pagel, Quentin D. Atkinson, Andrea S. Kalud, and Andrew Meadpnas first published May 6, 2013. https://doi.org/10.1073/pnas.12187261110 edited by Colin Renfrew, University of Cambridge, Cambridge, United Kingdom, and approved April 15, 2013, received for review October 31, 2012. The abstract, introductory summary, mentions, here we use a statistical model, which takes into account the frequency with which words are used in common everyday speech, to predict the existence of a set of such highly conserved words among 7 language families of Eurasia postulated to form a linguistic superfamily that evolved from a common ancestor around 15,000 years ago. Table 1 on page 4 of 6, features a graph displaying 23 words with cognate class sizes of 4 or more among the Eurasiatic language families. Black makes the list existing in one similar form across 4 of the 7 Eurasian language families and gains one new unique phonetic form roughly every 3.62 thousand years. According to the Languages of the World Etymological Database, part of the Tower of Babel project, LWED, list of 200 basic vocabulary forms, words for the color black, have just 15 distinct phonetic forms, across 41 language families spanned by 5 major long-range reconstructed macro-families: Macro-Khoisan, Austric, Sino-Caucasian, Afro-Asiatic, and Nostratic. The LWED includes the 7 Eurasiatic language families we study within Nostratic.
I saw my name in the pyramid text. We're not the same, my appearance is blessed. Don't play no games, this is champion chess. Feel like I'm stamped, I can stand with the best. I'm talking top hats, monocles, blazers, and vests. Monopoly money, it's gotta be funny looking. On top of the money, I'm dropping if money's crooked. Wow, I think I need to start a foundation. Preparation for the lost and found nation. Look.
That's you, that's me, that's we, that's us. Just trust me, gon' make it to the top. Non-stop, never drop, never flop, never fall. Though it was foretold in the old, in the scroll, made of gold, silver, jewels. I'ma win every single duel, cause I rule like a king. Yeah, and I bring everything back to the pack.
With the above in mind, we continue forward now holding the following assumptions. 1. The definition of black contains contradictory statements about the presence/absence of light. Light is not a substance, it is a spectrum of vibration in the same way that sound or heat is a spectrum of vibration. 2. The use of black as a word in Old English was used to denote both white pallor and dark umbrage. 3. The etymology of black reveals an analogous/symbolic connection to fire via both charring and illumination. 4. Unless this light, read, vibration, is annihilated, then not only would black be the exact opposite state from absence of light, but the concept of light's absence would be and is a logical impossibility. 5. The word black, being the combination of its sound and its dual meanings of bright/dusky, has existed for tens of thousands of years. Our alphabetic list, now separated into 6 vowels and 19 consonants, is comprised of words that all represent the color black in some way and will now be defined. Ater, Latin, dull black, related to fire. Ebony, heavy blackish or very dark brown timber from a mainly tropical tree. Ink, the pigment used in writing/art. Obsidian, a dark natural glass formed by the cooling of molten lava. Umbra, the fully shaded inner region of a shadow cast by an opaque object, especially the area on the Earth or Moon experiencing the total phase of an eclipse. In astronomy, the dark central part of a sunspot. Yellow, sun, a type of stellar classification. The color between green and orange in the spectrum, a primary subtractive color complementary to blue. Black, absence of light. Nirvana, literally, blown out, as in an oil lamp. The absence of word, a Sanskrit. Literally whirlpool, a technical term in yoga indicating that the contents of mental awareness are disturbances in the medium of consciousness. Carbon, name for sixth element on the period table. Dark, shadowy or obscure, from Proto-Germanic dirkes, sea dragon, from Piedirk to sea. Fair, brown by fire. Brownie is an older term for fairies. Gray, of a color intermediate between black and white, as of ashes or lead. Ham, Hebrew, black/heat/noise/passion/a group of people. From Egyptian chem, black, a crocodile's back. Jet, a black gemstone, it is derived from wood that has changed under extreme pressure. Krsna, Vedic, black one who attracts all love. Lucifer, Latin, light bearer. Melanin, black and brown pigment found in the skin, hair and eyes of animals as well as in the bodies of plants, fungi, viruses, and bacteria. From Greek melon, black. And Niger, Latin, lustrous black. Pitch, a form of tar, used to line boats. Qedar, Arabic, night. Also green, sea cedar tree. Rot, the process or sign of biological decay. Soot, powdery or flaky substance consisting largely of amorphous carbon, produced by the incomplete burning of organic matter. Tyrosine, bioavailable copper, a catalyst for melanogenesis. Vlach, Romanian, a syncretized form of magic and Christianity. Wu, Chinese, the combination of all five elements. Formerly pronounced ing, meaning emperor. Kizz, 0, no quantity or number, not, the figure 0. In a scientific context, common words can become integral pieces to building our understanding of the world we live in. For example, we read, in physics, work is defined as a force causing the movement, or displacement, of an object. In the case of a constant force, work is the scalar product of the force acting on an object and the displacement caused by that force. And also, work is the transfer of mechanical energy from one object to another. Since work is a movement of energy, it is measured in the same units as energy, joules, J. In an everyday context, we still understand work to be the application of our own energy. As living beings, we apply our energy towards sustaining our lives. Our brain has to burn calories just to continue thinking. So, we apply ourselves towards things that give us food and shelter. Hard work refers to tasks that require more of our energy than others. However, in the modern day we perform hard work with tools. We transfer our energy through any devices we use with our body. It takes physical energy to turn a ratchet or even to write a letter. Work is the force that causes motion, and the motion itself. Work is the movement of energy and is measured in the same units as energy. In our lives, work is both the actions we perform and the results of those actions. A work of art is the result of an artist's work. Black, in a scientific context, takes on another meaning as well. When observed in a proper experimental setting, black materials, substances and regions of space, are seen to constantly perform work, in the form of blackbody radiation. To learn more, we read the following.
Teach me how to fly a giant robot. I know they be hating, man. Forgive them cause they know not. He be out his mind and try and show out. Make them wait and see what else in store. Let's have a blowout. Teach me how to fly a giant robot. Teach me how to fly a giant robot. Teach me how to fly a giant robot. I know they be hating, man. Forgive them cause they know not. Forgive them cause they know not. Just give them 4 times. Just hit them 4 times. Ask me how I paint with no line. Red like no, green like go time. How we get up so high. This machine read your mind. Don't play dumb with me. My smart TV got showtime. And it's showtime.
Teach me how to fly a giant robot. Teach me how to fly a giant robot. Oh, yeah. Teach me how to fly a giant robot. I know they be hating, man. Forgive them cause they know not.
Paper C9T, Elements of Modern Physics, Topic Development of Modern Physics, Unit 1, Arif Iqbal Malik, Ast. Professor, Department of Physics, Niger Raj College, Niger. We will mainly talk about the development of quantum theory through the groundbreaking works of Planck, Einstein, de Broglie, Schrödinger and many. The concept of quantum theory was first proposed by Planck in 1900 to explain the spectrum of a blackbody which was not fully explained by classical physics. Planck assumed the electromagnetic, M, radiation was emitted by harmonic oscillators and the energy of M radiation can change only by discrete jumps of amount h nu. Planck was successful in explaining blackbody radiation with these groundbreaking assumptions. A blackbody is an idealized physical object that absorbs all incident electromagnetic radiations irrespective of frequency or angle of incidence. Such a perfect absorber is also a perfect emitter of electromagnetic radiation. But a blackbody does not reflect any radiation at all. The name blackbody is given because it absorbs electromagnetic radiations of all frequencies. Blackbody radiation is the thermal radiation emitted by a blackbody in thermodynamic equilibrium with its environment. It has a spectrum of wavelengths, inversely related to intensity that depends only on the temperature of the blackbody. Before the quantum theory was developed, the researchers of this field like Wien, Rayleigh, Jeans, Planck et al. Were not aware of the mechanism of emission and absorption of radiation. In fact, this mechanism came to be known only through the work of Planck on blackbody radiation. They had to start with the existing knowledge on the laws of classical thermodynamics and electromagnetism. We will now chronologically discuss how these scientists found the solution to the problem of energy distribution in blackbody radiation. Paper C9T, Elements of Modern Physics, Topic Development of Modern Physics, Unit 1, Arif Iqbal Malik, Ast. Professor, Department of Physics, Niger Raj College, Niger. This alphabetic list, also separated into 6 vowels and 19 consonants, is comprised of words that all represent the history and science of blackbody radiation in some way: A absorber/aperture, E-Emitter/energy/equilibrium, I ideal/insulated, O-Oscillator, U universal/understanding, Y years, 1900 and 1918, Discovery and Nobel Prize, B black, C cavity/constant, D dark, F frequency, G Germany, H-Harmonic/heat, J-Joules, K-Kelvin, L-Luminance, M-Mathmatical-mean/max, N negative, P perfect/Planck, Q-Quanta, R radiation/redshift, S spectrum, D temperature/thermal, V visible, W work, Z-Zwart. With the above in mind, we continue forward understanding of the following one. In physics, energy is the quantitative property that is transferred to a body or to a physical system, recognizable in the performance of work and in the form of heat and light. Energy is a conserved quantity. The law of conservation of energy states that energy can be converted in form, but not created or destroyed. 2. In physics, black is defined as an idealized state of perfect or total absorption and emission of energy, the result of total thermal equilibrium within an object, and is visible when that object is in perfect thermal equilibrium with its environment. 3. When the equilibrium is broken and the thermal energy of the black body exceeds that of its environment, its radiation redshifts, and the range of vibrations enters the visible spectrum. White light, the result of additive coloring, is the entire visible spectrum entering the eye at one time. 4. At 0 degrees Kelvin, particle motion ceases. All particles in the universe emit blackbody radiation. A perfect emitter is also a perfect absorber. Black is not the absence of light, it is a midpoint between all the varied expressions of vibration, light visible, heat tactile, sound audible, motion temporal, etc. Only black objects radiate white light. 5. The etymology of the word black reflects the physical reality of it. Only black objects radiate white light. This is why the word black can also mean bright, white, or to make white, as in blank and bleach. Blackness is the source of and reason for white light in the spectrum of color that is refracted out of white light. 6. Vision centers on perceiving darkness as a baseline, and uses contrast to construct images and infer motion. Quote, with 11 different types of stimuli that exercise a wide gamut of spatial and temporal visual processes. Negative perturbations from mean luminance are found to be typically 25% more effective visually than positive perturbations of the same magnitude, range 8 to 67%. In experiment 12, the magnitude of the black-white asymmetry is shown to be a saturating function of stimulus contrast. Black-white asymmetry in visual perception, Zhonglin Liu and George Sperling, Journal of Vision, September 14, 2012. To return to physics, and the language it uses regarding absorption, we see, the absorptive power of a body is defined as the ratio of the energy absorbed for a given time to the energy incident on it for the same amount of time. It measures the amount of heat absorbed by an object. Since a black body absorbs all the incident energy, its absorptive power is 1. The Sun radiates like a perfect black body with an emissivity of exactly 1. We can calculate the surface temperature of the Sun, given that it is a sphere with a 7.00 times 108 meter radius that radiates 3.80 times 1026 W into 3K space. The ratio of emissive power of a body to its absorptive power is equal to the emissivity of the black body and is the same for all materials at a given temperature. We are given that for a material at 2000 K the emissive power is 8 while its absorptive power is 10. Through observing the heat of black body enclosures carbon-lined, thermally insulated containers, with openings small enough not to disrupt the internal temperature while measuring, modern scientists learn how to describe the universal mechanism of absorption and radiation and now even define the particles that carry energy as self-contained energy packets. Black bodies are used for lighting, heating, security, thermal imaging, as well as testing and measurement applications. Since the intensity of the energy at any temperature and wavelength and can be determined using the Planck law of radiation. Today, quantum computing and quantum theory are the bleeding edge at the forefront of technology. July 5, 2022, LHCb discovers 3 new exotic particles. CERN, the International LHCb collaboration at the Large Hadron Collider, LHC, has observed 3 never-before-seen particles, a new kind of pentaquark and the first ever pair of tetraquarks, which includes a new type of tetraquark. Home.CERN.
I guess I had no hope except my shadow self. And just between us two, it seems he's sad as well. On top of bad as hell, we make y'all mad as hell. Cause I got what he lacked, for me he's dead as well. Says I ain't what you weren't, you just had it all. Don't say you understand it, first you had to fall. To call it good and evil makes you evil too. Since every place that evil is, it leads him to.
In a previous video, I used the description and story of Noah's Ark as a memory palace to record information about the internal structure of melanin, the black pigment that lines the inside of the human eye. Included in that video, was an image intended to correlate the biblical patriarch Noah with the chemical element hydrogen, using the constellation Aquarius as a bridge between the two concepts. That image is depicted here and its intended associations are: 1. Hydrogen is the most abundant substance in this universe and stars are made of hydrogen. 2. Water is produced by stars. H20 begins existence in the form of plasma that erupts from the magnetic poles of stars, the moment they achieve fusion in a dark cloud/nebula. The mother's water breaks, she gives birth to sons. 3. Hydrogen literally means water, I bring forth. Hydrogen atoms collect to form stars, which produce water. A constellation is drawn by connecting a group of stars and one such constellation is the 11th zodiac sign, Aquarius. Aquarius literally means water bearer. 4. Astronomer H-Rays constellations are meant to fit with classical descriptions of the images. H-Rays Aquarius depicts the water bearer as a man with an exposed raised thigh, symbolizing an erect phallus. 5. In the science of astrotheology, Aquarius is equated with Noah, Pisces with Shem and Japheth, the square of Pegasus with the sheet they used to cover Noah, and Capricorn is equated with Ham who witnessed Noah's nudity. 6. In Hebrew Noah is spelled Nunchet and the word for grace is the inverse Chet Nun. Noah disgraces himself in drunkenness. The word spelled Nunchet Mem, means both comfort and requiring comfort. God required comfort after creating humanity and flooded earth. Noah found grace with God and was asked to comfort humanity from the flood. Nun is a living creature, Chet is a container, and Mem is water. 7. In biblical myth, Noah saved the living creatures from the water by placing them into a container and afterwards was considered the patriarch of a new age. In astrological myth, Aquarius is a living creature who pours out water from his container, and is considered the marker of the coming age. 8 in Hebrew, the letter Mem has a numerical value of 40. In hip-hop, African American men pour libations from 40 ounces bottles of malt liquor. Traditionally of the brand Old English, the style of prose in which he was reintroduced to the Bible. 9 Atomic theory, astrology and the earliest written Jewish laws all trace back to the Greek Hellenistic era and territory. The accompanying visual mnemonics relating to the ark are shown here, displaying the following correspondences. 1. The Star of David. 2. Aromatic rings. 2. Coracle, kufar, boat. 2. The melanin macromolecule. 3. Pitch, tar/bitumen. 2. The black appearance of melanin granules. 4. The ark's 3 decks, relate to melanin's 3 molecular planes. 5. The male family members, Noah, Ham, Shem and Japheth, correspond to the elements of organic chemistry: hydrogen, carbon, nitrogen, and oxygen. Noah the father is hydrogen's 1 proton that fathers all elements. The ages of the brothers from oldest to youngest, Japheth, Shem, Ham, reflects the atomic number of the elements from large to small: oxygen, 8, nitrogen, 7, and carbon, 6. Japheth means heatless expansion and parallels oxidation. Shem means breath and parallels Earth's nitrogen-rich atmosphere. Ham means heat/black and parallels charcoal/carbon. 6. The 3 brothers Ham, Shem, and Japheth correspond to 3 melanin monomers: black eumelanin, brown eumelanin, red pheomelanin. 7. The need for breeding pairs of male and female equates to electromagnetism being the product of waves in the electric field interacting with waves in the magnetic field. 8. The 7 kosher animals, male and female, equate to the 7 colors of the visible spectrum, electric/magnetic, and also to the hierarchy of biological classification. 9. Inclusion of every animal on Earth, evolutionary tree of male and female, relates to a black body's absorption spectrum, electric/magnetic, and to the ubiquity of melanin in nature. Finally, this image correlates the properties and structure of melanin with the activities and anatomy of a crocodile. To reinforce these correlations, the image includes figures of the Egyptian hieroglyphics spelling Kemet and the Hebrew words Ham and Chum. 1. The Kem glyph represents a crocodile's back, which is covered by a layer of thick black scales. Melanin nanoparticles are flat disks that stack to form towers, which stick together to form thick walls that cover the surface of a cell. 2. The Hebrew word ham can also be interpreted as meaning heat/protection or noise/passion and can be spelled chet mem or he mem. Chet, a fence, represents an enclosed area. He, a window, represents an open area, and mem represents water. A cold-blooded crocodile must expose its back to the sun when basking, in order to raise its body temperature. During mating season, the males arch their backs below the surface of the water and let out deep bellows in order to vibrate the water above them and create a fountain-like display to attract the females. The scales on the crocodile's back protect them from radiation as they absorb heat. The scales on the crocodile's back allow them to express their passion via the production of low-frequency noise. His transformation of solar radiation into sonic radiation is an example of work. 3. The hieroglyphic formula, representing the land of ancient Egypt, is crocodile hide plus owl plus bread loaf plus crossroads. According to modern Egyptology, in the original context, the crocodile hide is the color black, the owl is the sense of vision, the bread loaf is any accumulation, and the crossroads is a meeting place. We correlate the crocodile's back to a layer of melanin molecules. The owl typifies keen vision, melanin lines the inner eye and the pigmented epithelium. Yeast bacteria multiply in dough and cause it to rise when baked. Melanin nanoparticles accumulate within the cells that produce them, melanocyte, and aggregate into larger macromolecules. The crossroads denotes a city or civilization. Melanin is self-organizing. Melanin molecules have the property of self-assembly. Black as a mnemonic device reminds us of the dynamics of energy, and the particular understanding of these dynamics that has guided the world of physics since 1918. The idealized perfect black body, the black body enclosure/radiator used in industry/tech, the eyes of animals, the biblical Ark of Noah, the melanin molecule and the sun itself can all be used as memory palaces to internalize this information, and to draw further connections.
Let's have an adventure. I told your old lady to go grab her denture.
I'm trying to put water all over my teeth.
Put her daughter all over my meat. I'm hot like potato.
I thought you had brick, but that liquid's a Lego.
I'm bad for the game, I had code for the payload. If I go to my hoe, I earn halos. Let's have an adventure.
Which door will you enter?
History never sweet, but there's more at the center. And all I can say is just more to remember. But what did you say though? I'm not here to play y'all. I'm hot like potato.
I thought you had brick, but that liquid's a Lego.
I'm bad for the game, I had code for the payload. If I go to my hoe, I earn halos.